everybody. Thanks for joining me. I came out to a local park in my little hometown right on the banks of the Santiam River here, and thought I would do a little bit of a Q&A. I've been getting some requests for another one, and I asked people to jot down their questions in a recent video that I had. Leave them in the comments. You can still do that. I'll gather them together. We'll do another one at some point. Anyway, I just wanted to never mind the noise of motorcycles and trucks as they go by. It is a local park. Anyway, okay, let's get started here. So, do you live alone? Yes, I do. I have a one-bedroom apartment that Summit and I share, and you know, I think I've mentioned before, I have been a homeowner before, but as I was gearing for retirement, I divested myself of any property holdings beyond a vehicle and a couple of sticks of furniture. So, traveling light these days. And so, yeah, that's it. You know, I do live alone. There is a girlfriend in the picture. She does stay with me, usually weekends and 1 or 2 nights during the week. You know, we get along very well. She's a very nice, boring old gal, and, you know, at some point or another, she might show her face on camera, but nobody be holding your breath, okay? Do I have family besides Summit? I do. One of my previous marriages did yield a daughter. And she lives up in Washington, the southwest corner, outside of Aberdeen, right on the coast. And 2 grandsons. The oldest is 15, the youngest is 10. So yeah, there you have it. Her husband recently passed cancer. Got him way too young. Anyway, yeah, that's it as far as family goes. My mother is still alive. Dad passed several years ago, but let's see, the immediate family, I guess you would say, you know, mom and older sister and my older brother still live in the same area that I grew up with around Eureka, California. My brother is actually in Eureka, and my sister and mom are sharing a house. They live in the little town I grew up in, Fortuna, California. There you go, Tuna Town. Right on the banks of the Eel River in the heart of the Redwoods. So, okay, moving along. How much does YouTube pay? You know what? It's not lucrative. But I think that deserves a short video all its own, and I'll just break down, you know, what I can expect to see. Of course, it does all depend on the number of views that you get. And, you know, I don't get tons of views, even though I've got 1 million plus subscribers. Not everybody watches, you know. There's a lot of those people that, when I went viral, they subscribed, you know, to show their support, but, you know, on an ongoing basis, do they watch? No, not so much. Okay, how do you feel about life? You know, life is a real trip. And it's a hell of an adventure. What are you gonna say about that? How do you feel about life, you know? It's like, yeah, I like it. It beats the alternative. Why I started loving the woods. You know, I grew up in the woods. You know, the coastal redwood forests were my playground. Jeez. Surrounded by woods. And I started walking through them at a fairly young age with friends, and we'd just tromp everywhere and get poison oak. I'd bring it home, and Mom would get it off my clothes when she went to do the laundry. Yeah. I never got the poison oak so bad, but unfortunately Mom did. You know, she used to get blisters and have to go get steroid shots and that whole bit, you know, so I feel bad about that now, but when I was a kid, I didn't didn't much think about it. But yeah, I've been stomping through the woods what seems like my whole life. Food on a hike. What kind of food do I take on a hike? You know, that really depends on the hike. Am I going backpacking? You know, take dehydrated food. Taking dehydrated meals or dried food that I prepare for myself. If I do a shorter hike, I'll do snacks, you know, jerky, Cliff Bars, things like that. You know, I would occasionally take a sandwich with me, you know, a Subway sandwich. I like Subway, it's good. Or I'll make my own, you know, tuna sandwich on a hoagie roll, you know, take it out there with me. Always have water along for myself and for Summit, and snacks for Summit. She loves jerky, and little, like, you know, beef sticks, you know, the snacky meats, you know. I take those along for her, as yeah, she'll follow me anywhere if I promise her a meat snack. All right, so what made me want to do YouTube? And I think I've touched on this before. You know, I wanted to share the beauty that's around me. I live, you know, in the Pacific Northwest, and it's gorgeous here. You know, with the coastal rainforests, the wild rivers that run through it, the coast itself, there's just so much beauty up here. I think, if I can remember that statistic, Oregon has something like 385 named waterfalls, you know, and countless more smaller ones that don't even have names. There you go. So it's just so beautiful here. I wanted to share it. How you doing, bud?
Oh, not so good.
Oh, well, you know, life happens. Let's see, one more thing. What calls you to nature? God, yeah, well, I mean, what doesn't? Sorry, I sure don't. Do I have a few dollars to spare? I rarely, if ever, carry any money with me at all. Anyway, what calls you to nature? The beauty, the tranquility. You know, when you're not in a neighborhood park. What calls me to nature is just the peace, the peacefulness. When I get out on a trail, or, you know, out on the coast and the waves are crashing, or, you know, the birds are singing, the water is rushing by, you know, the sound of the waterfall, it's you know, it's just music to my soul. And that's what calls me to nature. There's just no place I'd rather be. It is my cathedral. It's where I find God. So there you have it. I'm going to wrap this, and if you've got any more questions for me, please leave them in the comments, and we'll do it again sometime. Until then, peace, take a hike, and be blessed.